Well, these stairs are original to the house, well over 100 years old. And we really like the railings, and the homeowners really just want to restore it. But we do have some problems with the existing balusters, where some of them have broke over time or become loose. Whether it's somebody falling into them, maybe moving some furniture. But we thought about maybe making some new ones, but that could be pretty expensive. Any good ideas what you do?
Yeah, these balusters, the broken ones seem to be right in this run right here. The rest of them are in very, very good shape. I think it'd be easier just to repair them. This run right here, the balusters are mortised into the handrail. So what I've done is I've loosened up these moldings. So you take these moldings off right here, and you'll see that the balusters are all dovetailed. You can see the dovetail right here. So if we just, I'll find one that's broken, like this one, and then I just have to jump around the other side. And Charlie, if you could just knock it. Yeah. And then they drop right out.
Well, this is Wayne's shop just outside of Boston, and they do a lot here. They can repair furniture and refinish the furniture. They can finish new pieces, a lot of architectural woodwork, and boy, they do a lot of doors. It's quite an operation. Hey, Wayne.
Hey, Norm.
So you've been hanging out with Charlie out at the construction site?
Yes, yes, and he brought these broken balusters to my attention. And so we're going to repair them.
So why not turn new ones?
Well, actually, we only have 12 broken balusters, so we figured it'd be more cost-effective to repair them, and we wouldn't sacrifice the time on the schedule.
All right, what's the first step?
First step is to strip the paint. Norm, this is our submersion tank. This is full of paint stripper, and what we'll do is we'll take a baluster, we'll put it in the stripper, and then what we do is we typically weigh it down so it's completely submerged, and we'll let it sit there for 2-3 hours to soften up the paint.
And then what happens?
Then what we do is we'll take the baluster out of this tank, we'll bring it over to our flow over tray where we pump stripper over the item, cleaning the residual paint from the piece. And once that's completed, we'll take it next door and we'll do the repair.
You have a great ventilation system in here. I can't smell anything.
Yes, we do. It's very important for our safety. So the next step is to take the strip baluster.
They look great, cleaned up.
Yes. And then we'll apply glue to the brake. Set it in this jig, which will keep it nice and square. We'll clamp it up, and then we'll let it set. So this baluster was glued up yesterday, so it's nice and tight, but as you can see, there are
a lot of voids.
big void.
Right in there. Yep.
Yes. What we'll do to remedy that is we'll use this epoxy stick. It's got a catalyst in the center of it. We'll cut a piece off, and it has a piece of plastic on the outside.
This stuff is great. I've used it quite frequently. It's amazing. It'll last forever, and you just have to really knead it to get it all mixed together.
And the kneading will activate it.
It gets to be all the same color. You're ready to go, right?
Yeah. And we'll apply it, and then we'll just fill the void. What's nice about this is it's sandable. It'll be dry within probably 10 minutes. So this baluster has already been filled and sanded.
So that was the break point right there.
Correct.
It's in a little different location than that one. But, you know, as much as we got that epoxy and everything in there, that is still the weak point. If this gets hit, it's going to want to break here. As good as that glue is, it's still a weak point. So how can we make it stronger?
Well, what we're going to do first is cut it. What's nice about that saw is it has a very thin blade, which will give us a very thin kerf.
All right, so that way it'll look exactly the same because we're not taking away too much material.
Correct. So now what we'll do is bring it over to the drill press. What we did here is we built a jig to allow this baluster to be held nice and square.
And it's vertical to the drill itself, so we get a nice clean hole. It's straight.
Correct. So we'll screw it in.
So I see you have a piece of tape on the bit, so that's the depth we want to go to.
Correct.
All right, that's half the length of your dowel. All right, perfect.
Very good. Now we'll drill out the other half.
All right.
Now we're ready to insert the dowel and glue it. If you want to stick that right in there. There. And now in this end. And then on this dowel. And now you can assemble it.
Okay, find our marks. That's all the way in there now. All right,
And then
give it a tap.
nice.
Okay, glue squeezed out. Looks like a nice fit.
Very
Once
nice.
that dries, it's never going to break right there.
Not for 130 years.
Hey, Wayne.
Hey, Kevin.
Hey, look at that, huh? All going back in place.
Yes.
Again, the repair went okay?
Yes, they did. Here's one of the balusters that we repaired. So what we did is we actually glued up the brake, cut it flat so we could drill press it, and then inserted a dowel, glued it up, and here we go.
Boy, and that's nice and rigid, no problem there. So this
No.
one's going back in?
Yes, it is. And so we're going to insert it into the mortise, and then the dovetail goes in here.
You got them all labeled, so they're all going right back into their same spot.
Yes, they are.
Beautiful. And then, so then you guys took off nosing that was holding these in?
Correct. And here's the top piece of the molding,
So that goes
which
back
will
in
go
there.
right here.
Right.
And then what'll happen is this piece of molding will go right underneath it.
Gotcha. And all of this ends up getting painted, as do the balusters, so all blemishes will be hidden.
That's right.
But natural stain on the top rail, right here, the handrail.
Yes, we've already stripped it, bleached it, and stained it.
And what goes on top of these?
We'll apply a coat of catalyzed lacquer
Yep.
and quite a bit of toner. Jim is here mixing the color. So what we've done is we've started with a base stain, something that you can get off the shelf.
Yep.
It is an industrial product, and then we're adding pigment.
So just straight pigment.
Correct. So we're adding medium green and lamp black
All right.
to achieve the color that the owner wants. Once the lacquer is applied, it'll punch it back up, it'll deepen it, and then to achieve the final color, we'll apply 2 passes of toner coat.
Toner coat being.
It's lacquer with color introduced into it. It's either a dye or a pigment. We'll be using both.
All right, let's have a look.
So what we'll do now is we'll let this set up. It'll take probably 20 minutes, and then we'll apply 2 toner coats, which will enrich in the color.
Yep.
And in between the toner coats, we'll touch up these repairs that you see are very light.
Make sure that they match.
Exactly. And then we'll apply a final coat of 30 sheen lacquer.
It's unbelievable how many coats, how much work. But nice job.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. This Old House has got a video for just about every home improvement project, so be sure to check out the others. And if you like what you see, click on the subscribe button to make sure that you get our newest videos right in your feed.